Good afternoon, guys. For those of you who live in the Worcester, Massachusetts area and you need your car, truck, or Mini Cooper worked on, head to Greasy's Garage, ask for Pete. He and the gang can fix whatever you got. And yes, for those of you who would like to learn more about Bear's products, and Pete always carries them in stock for the cars anyway, just call David at 615-854-3057. And he will explain to you how you can get better gas mileage and more power from Bear's car products. And if you want to keep your hair, he's got products there too, and they're phenomenal. Also, for those of you who like a cool t-shirt, sweatshirt, mega blanket, go to libtartees.com. Let's number one, I want to start off by saying that don't misunderstand me. I too am fed up with the movie. It's old. It's tiresome. I've seen enough. Personally, I don't think more people need to wake up. I think we got plenty of people woke up. And for those that are not awake, then when it's all over with and we clean the swamp, we drain it, and we arrest those that need to be, then explain to them what's been going on. And in the meantime, clean house. We know where the Antifa is at and the BLM rioters. We get it. I mean, you can't tell me that the FBI doesn't know where these people are at. Anyway, it's just, look, I get it. I understand the plan to a degree. I get it. Things are going to be exposed. These bad people, these satanic creatures, these demonic jerks need to be exposed. And so they're going to be. It's just me right now being fed up with the whole damn thing. I'm tired of seeing good people being hurt by jerks. I'm just human. Let's go ahead and start with, hi, my name is Devlin Barrett. I'm tired of people like this. It says, it's a meme. It says, I am a reporter for the Washington Post covering national security. You will soon find out I was taking money from Peter Strzok and Lisa Page to publish fake news in order to help Hillary Clinton get away with crimes. And this guy isn't the only one. There's a whole bunch just like him. And then our future. And here's a mob of people chasing Bill Gates and Fauci down the street. And Bill Gates is saying, what in the gates of hell is happening? And Fauci says, they stopped watching mainstream news and started doing their own unbiased research. Isn't that the truth? Let's go ahead and dig into the rest of it here. Mitch McConnell finally bends the knee and wants truth with President Trump. I wouldn't trust him any further than I could throw him. What a low-life POS. What a low-life. I have no desire to hear anything that he has to say. And then after calling 2020 election legitimate, woke Pat Robertson is now pushing BLM messaging to Christians. Hey, Pat, they got to you? How'd they get to you, Pat? How'd they get to you? Was it by way of pedophilia? Is that it? And they compromised him. He's been compromised probably for a long time, would be my guess. Michael Flynn calls 2020 election fights in Arizona and Michigan tactically important. They are. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then Chinese and Mexican criminal entities team up to traffic a new drug capable of doing great harm to Americans. All of these drugs do. It says a new drug is beginning to wreak havoc throughout America. Holly McKay of CNS News covered the rise of isotonitazine and its deleterious effects stateside. In the last 12 months, I've seen a number of overdose cases where the person isn't responding at all to the naloxone, which made us realize that it wasn't fentanyl. An anti-drug campaigner based in California observed that activists' reference to naloxone, I'm probably saying that wrong, is relevant because this is a nasal spray used on people who suspectedly overdose on fentanyl. It's often referred to as a miracle medicine by paramedics, literally capable of bringing overdose victims back to life. And fentanyl wasn't showing up in blood tests or autopsy reports. The activist continued, who maintained anonymity. We realized this was isotonitazine. And wow, it's nasty stuff. They just keep coming up with worse and worse drugs. Good grief. And then awakened Americans are not drinking the jabbing Kool-Aid. No, a lot of people, they're doing the research. And that's what you should do. You should do your research, absolutely. And then if you still want it, fine, go for it. And then unsealed records detail FBI and DOJ Jeffrey Epstein Ghislaine Maxwell cover-up. It says they always knew. Today, the DOJ published records unsealed by court order in the Ghislaine Maxwell case. These included a motion and numerous exhibits detailing what the FBI, DOJ, and in particular the Southern District of New York knew about the criminal activities of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell back in 2016. They've known forever. They've known way, way back what they were doing. Hell yeah, don't even think they didn't. And then House reveals date of voting on whether to make Washington, D.C. the 51st state. It'll be undone. When Trump and them come back later on, if they don't like it, they'll undo it. Breonna Taylor's mother turns on BLM. So, the mother of Breonna Taylor, a woman who was shot and killed by police officers last year, claimed that a local Black Lives Matter group in Louisville, Kentucky, and other activists have exploited her daughter's death for political reasons and money. Tamika Palmer on Wednesday wrote on Facebook to say that Taylor's friends and family members are the only ones who have supported her since her daughter's death. I have never personally dealt with BLM Louisville and personally have found them to be a fraud. She added, there's the people at Injustice Square, aka Bree Way, who has been 100 and held it down, but that doesn't go to say everyone down there, but they know who they are and also never needed recognition. Palmer also accused Representative Attica Scott, a Democratic member of the Kentucky House of Representatives, of being another fraud. Gosh, guess what? I guess some of these people, they're letting it, they're turning on BLM. And then in LAPD performing forced jabbings on mentally ill, disabled, and homeless people against their will. And there's a video that shows it. You know, I don't care who you are. There's some things you have to really question. And then China's death grip on America's mercantile needs. So did voters literally put America's demise into the hands of its enemies, the Socialist Democrat Party, aligned with China? Its emperor Xi Jinping is now pulling the strings of his puppet dupe, Joe Stumbles Biden. China could succeed in achieving its goal to replace America as the world's foremost economic, industrial, and military power. World hegemony is the Chinese goal. Our success has turned us into soft weaklings and the world's most consummate consumers of Chinese junk, not producers of quality products. We've moved far beyond being the ugly Americans. Now it appears we're just the sheep waiting to be sheared. The signs are everywhere. China's aggressive military feints against U.S. Navy elements, their incursions into other national boundaries around the South China Sea, their refusal to even speak about human rights violations against a Muslim minority in the West, or their massive and continuing intel spying operations against America's industrial and scientific institutions, and their disregard for America's patent and copyright laws are scary signs and deeds. And it says Americans are constantly propagandized. By the way, let me see how much time I have left here. Okay. It says here that Americans are constantly propagandized by the politically correct, aka the woke counterculture, into accepting socialism as a better alternative than corrosive capitalism. so as to exist equitably with the George Floyds of America underclass, because it's not fair, is it, that one person should have more than another? Equity is the operative word, not equality. Refer back, if you must, to George Orwell's book Animal Farm, where all animals are equal except pigs. The pigs are more equal. Read it if you need a refreshment course on socialism. But here's a shocker for you. Why did Major League Baseball use the excuse of Georgia's correcting its voter laws to move the All-Star game from Atlanta to Denver? It's because of China's relation with the Democrat Party. The same applies to Delta, American, and United Airlines as it does to the NBA, Coca-Cola, America's Movie, and the entertainment industry, all bowing to China's demands for money. China intends to be the New World Order, so they have already co-opted greedy corporate America to do their will, and corporate America can't survive without corrupt federal politicians. Follow the money. Ask, how did Stumbles Joe become a multimillionaire? We've been led for so long into believing our fight was between Republicans and Democrats. Then it became capitalism versus socialism, until we discovered many of our Republicans weren't really who they said they were. They turned our country into a corporation for money. They'll sell anything, including our freedom, our jobs, and our future, to China for money. And I'm almost done here. It says the capitalism is the theory that anyone who can achieve what their talents can provide them without government interference, as opposed to the socialist state will provide them whether they like it or not. Economic growth is now seen as the province of corporate America, i.e. big business, including Wall Street, the media, sports and Hollywood, entertainment industry, transportation, space, and scientific endeavors. These corporate organizations are flush with cash and can buy whoever and whatever whenever they want, especially politicians like Joe Stumbles Biden and his son Hunter. The eyes of corporate America glazed over when they saw a vast field of potential cash in a growing China and made deals with the devil to sell them entertainment, like movies, basketball, and harvest the products of cheap, often slave labor to keep Americans stuck in the quicksand of addiction, unable to live without their life-saving stuff. Who can't live without smartphones these days, or Nike basketball shoes, or lights flashing in the heels? You get the idea. Let me see how much. And then China has a death grip on the filling America's mercantile needs, and they're not going to let it go until we give up. That's not in my DNA. Is it in yours? And remember, freedom is the goal. The Constitution is the way. Now get them. And I guarantee you that when we get the right people back in power, guess what? We will fix all that crap. And then released emails show how the FDA paid for mutilated fetuses killed in late-term abortions with taxpayer funds. I tell you what, all this stuff, it's all being exposed. Liberal media freaks out over news of America First caucus forming among House Republicans. You think they're crying now? Wait until later on. Just wait. That is all for now. God bless you all. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, guys.